Applause for Reverend Al Sharpton. We ought to be standing up to thank him for the outstanding work that he's done over the decades. He won't remember this. In 1987, I was working for Congressman John Conyers. Y'all remember him? And he came down to meet with the congressman about issues going on in New York, criminal justice issues. And you were in a tracksuit then. You weighed a little more then, but you know what? I had a whole lot more hair then too, but you've been dynamic and dedicated through the decades. So thank you so much for all that you've done and continue to do. How y'all doing today? National Action Network, congratulations on your 35th here. And 35 more coming, right? All right. Look, the George Floyd Act, as you heard earlier, Kamala Harris introduced that on the Senate side 5 years ago after his tragic murder in Minnesota. And we've reintroduced that in the House today. I had a chance to take it over. Sheila Jackson Lee passed away. She'd been the lead sponsor, and they passed it on to me. Hakeem Jeffries picked me out and said, I want you to take the lead on this. Y'all like Hakeem Jeffries too? Doing great work. And you know what? He's going to be a great Speaker of the House, isn't he? It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I went out to Minnesota back in January, and it was after Renee Good had been shot, before Alex Preddy had been killed. And you know, that's just about a mile away from where George Floyd was killed, right around the corner. Same stuff, different people, same uniforms, kinda. Same injustice, we got the same solution. So when we were out there in Minnesota and those guys were running around, remember when the vice president told them they've got absolute immunity? They can't be held accountable? I made sure I went out to Minnesota and I said, you know what? Oh yeah, you can be held accountable, and you're gonna be held accountable, and you know what? They're gonna prosecute it in the state instead of the federal court, and you know what's good about that? No pardons for sale from the President of the United States. If you get convicted in state court, you can't be pardoned by the President, and I guess Derek Chauvin's gonna have some new cellmates, right? So we gotta make sure we push that forward. The Department of Justice has been withholding the evidence that should go to the state prosecutors. We gotta make sure we keep pushing for that. I did a letter, I got 58 of my colleagues to join in on the letter and say, turn the evidence over. We know you all ain't gonna do it. Let Keith Ellison and those guys do it. But we also have to look at the new piece of this too, and that's ICE. And I'll just say one thing quick about that. Those guys are out of control totally. We need a total revamp. Noam getting fired was not enough. We need the mask to come off. We need the body cameras on. We need the end of roving patrols. We need the end of racial profiling. There's enough of it. We've got to shut it down. So we got to keep fighting for that. But I got to say this too. We talked a little bit about voting issues earlier today, and we got a lot of challenges coming. We have it every election. We want to make sure we have poll watchers, people out to make sure things are going smoothly. Got a new challenge this year that I think we need to be ready for. That's ICE showing up at polling places. We got to be ready for that. And remember when they rolled out the National Guard, like in DC and Los Angeles? They might do that again. And they're not going to just do it generally. If they bring them out, they might take them to polling places. So in addition to us doing the usual poll watching that we do, we've got to be extra involved, start to finish, making sure we're keeping our eyes on whoever's out there, whether it's just the usual crazy MAGA guys doing all their tricks, or ICE and the National Guard. Are we ready for that? Are we ready to do it? We need all hands on deck. National Action Network has been outstanding in doing it. All hands on deck, right? We got some Divine Nine in here? Yeah, all right. We need y'all too. We need that network. We got the faith community involved too. I know they're in the lunch next door, but y'all ready too? We need all hands on deck. And what that also means is part of what happened in 2024, a lot of the young folk didn't get the messages that we were trying to send out. We've been doing it through traditional routes. You know how they do that thing where they wait till the last week of October and they start running TV commercials and act like that's enough? It's not enough. We got to get out and reach out to these young folks where they are, and we can't wait till the last minute, right? We got to get on it soon. And the issue here is trusted voices. They don't always trust the voices that they hear, but they know you. They know grandma. They know cousin. We need all of us talking to all of our family and our friends all across the country. You up for that?